Hello everyone, this is Jasmine aka Gladiatorinsweats, and I'm here with a tarot message for today, September the 12th of 2018, and it is Wednesday, so happy Wednesday to everyone. It's hump day, I guess, like the middle of the week, so hope everyone's been having a decent week so far, and I'm actually here to bring in some messages or just some insight about the new harmonic cycle that we're starting today. So, just to give a brief overview of what the harmonic cycle is, it's a 4-day cycle when we move from the essentially, to keep it very basic, how I've been discussing these galactic signatures, it runs in a color pattern from, I believe, red to white to blue to yellow. And essentially, from that red to the yellow is this harmonic cycle. Or, as I've been mentioning, how in this astrology, it's not so much about very complex, like needing to figure things out in like this very I guess just complex way, for lack of a better word, where it's really seeing how the layers add on to each other to kind of, I mean, all astrology is like this, but I digress. Let me just get into the tarot message. So we've started this new harmonic cycle of the crystal matrix, which I'll go ahead and list like the key phrases here. Self-regulate, universal fire of cooperation, and entering the codon of the thunder, arising, or I believe it's a rising being. Telepathy arouses energy of space. So I'll go ahead and put those there for you or others to meditate on, just to kind of keep in mind. But for me, I felt this as like, as I had been mentioning, how we've been like storing all of this information, the way that I'm kind of picturing it in like these, we're like building this new matrix. We're building this new like reality for ourselves. We're creating it. We're like, just imagine like as a game developer, when they're building their worlds and whatnot. And that's kind of the way I'm seeing it. And then I'm seeing this like crystal matrix part of us, kind of like, what just came to my mind was Frankenstein, like the story where the scientist raises like Frankenstein up to like the quote unquote heavens to be shocked, to be brought to life. And that's kind of what I'm feeling here, is like this is us bringing our new reality, our new, not just our mindsets, but like applying these mindsets and like this Mercury and Virgo energy. Like that's really what I'm feeling, is like we're really creating not just a construct, like a structure, or like our new reality, but like a more like a long term. Yeah, like it just feels like it's what we're building is a much more long term creation, not just for ourselves, but as a collective, as a whole, on the many different levels. Excuse me for the pages flipping, just reading my notes here. But yeah, like that's what I really felt here with this harmonic cycle. Today, the galactic signature is the red solar earth. So this is about us really, putting that information out there, but it's like us really, like the word tends to say, like I pulse in order to evolve. Like I'm putting that outward action out in order to further bring my creation to life. Like I was saying when I'm bringing up all these references about like Frankenstein, or even like a game developer, anyone that's creating of something, and then you're kind of bringing it to life after creating like the mold, after creating the form, and now putting in the energy, putting in the universal fire, the passion, the spark that creates, or not creates, but that gives it life. So that's kind of how I'm feeling here, or just really feeling with these energies. So I will go ahead and read the galactic signature as well as put it on the screen here. So I pulse in order to evolve, realizing synchronicity. I seal the matrix of navigation with the solar tone of intention. I'm guided by the power of space. So, yeah, all of these things are things not even necessarily, I guess I'll just enter that here. Whenever I do include these, like these codes or these things that seemingly maybe don't make a bunch of total sense, it's not really meant to be a logical thing where you just kind of like get it even logically. It's really supposed to kind of pull more on your psyche and just allow whatever comes to you through the code or the message to come to you. So that's really the purpose, or at least my purpose, of including it in the videos here. So let's go ahead and just round this off with the actual collective message. So the cards that I did pull for the message or the insight today was the Nine of Cups, Ten of Swords, and the Hermit once again. So I guess it would be it'd be silly to say, well, the Hermit's here, so that must be important. I mean, like I've been saying, this Hermit energy is not just important, but this coming through for the message and the insight over and over and over is stressing, but not in a stressing as like a, oh, like you have to do this and be fearful, but like it's really stressing, not just this Hermit card, but the rest of these cards are about what it is that you truly are seeking, what it is that you're really wishing for is not going to be found outside of yourself. It's not going to be found, or not necessarily not outside of yourself, but it's not going to be found by like chasing the information. It's also not going to be found, I feel, by like closing yourself off necessarily from others entirely, or even from yourself. Like, I guess really, ultimately, this is really asking you, and not even just asking, like imploring you to please listen to yourself, to, remove all of the beliefs, remove everything that you believe that you need, or believe what it is that you feel that you want. We got to go past that. We got to go past all of the stuff, past all the layers. Like, when I'm looking at this Ten of Swords and just with this Hermit card there, I feel like, again, this is all about us peeling these layers back. It's peeling these layers back. All of these situations and circumstances that we're being in, that's, I don't even want to say the word forcing, but again, it's really, even as I was mentioning a couple of days ago about how even our seeming losses or the things that don't seem to be working out, how everything's supposed to be guiding us to where we're supposed to be going. And then this bottom of the deck, the High Priestess, like, listen to our intuition. Listen to our intuition. Not just our intuition, but our higher self and our guides. But ultimately what I did feel here was higher self. Like, our higher self is trying to connect with us. Not even trying, but it's connecting with us. It's, as I've been mentioning, how it's been like integrating in our being. But I feel like, not for some, but even just many of us, where we may be feeling blocks of like lack of clarity of what to do, or not even sure about how to go about what we want. Like, I feel this is about really surrendering to whatever messages or whatever guidance is coming to you, whether it's through like, feeling like you're getting intuitive knowings, or even just from like conversations or messages you receive through other people. Especially with the way that I was feeling about these cards underneath with the Nine of Swords and then the Two of Wands. So again, just with the fact that even on the floor, we've got the water and the sword and the Hermit. These are all, again, in this non-physical element and reality of things. Like, we're fully locked in, and the spiritual is like not going anywhere. We're having to really acknowledge our spirit. We have to allow the things that are falling apart, or the things that are falling away. And ultimately, the way that, not I'm just seeing it, but even as I'm explaining this, how we're living in this spiritual, like more psychological reality overlaid, or like kind of overlaid over this reality. So the things that are like falling apart, or where we feel things aren't working, like things are actually working much more. Things always have worked psychologically, but I feel it's more and more apparent as we're not just turning away from like external stimuli, but we're releasing as I was mentioning even just a couple days ago about releasing even our connections with other people, connections with places, connections with things. We're releasing all kinds of like attachments that don't serve as, again, I feel like I've said this like, or been saying this information or this sort of information for a minute, but that's really, this process takes a long time, which is why I feel, not even just feel like, but why I'm talking about it so much is, we're, even when we think about it in a very in a very worldly idea of even just in this life, if you don't believe in past lifetimes, of, everything that you're taking in from the moment that you're born, like everything that you're soaking in. And the way that our society likes to play it is that at 18, that's when the switch is supposed to, not even that the switch is supposed to flip, but it's like our society at no point really is like, okay, this is the point in which, we're giving, or that there's this information, but you need to start trying to figure out what it means for yourself. Like there is no part of that, that hasn't been a part of our thing. And I feel like maybe that's that's been something that happens. We look at it as like midlife crises, or what do you call it? I forget what the word is, but just when you start to have these like existential, that's what it is, like existential crises of like, what am I doing? And I feel like instead of people like feeling these like midlife crises, or like these crises are happening sooner and sooner, not necessarily because the world is like so much worse, but again, I feel like all of this ties into everything I was even mentioning a couple of days ago. Everything is happening according to plan. Everything is happening because that's how it has to be, or that's the way that we've decided. Everything that's happening, we have consciously or unconsciously, we've created, we've wanted this to manifest, we've wanted this to happen. And so ultimately, when you think about the idea and the thought that, going back to like even just this 9 of Cups of wish fulfillment, of not just receiving what you want, but even the flip side of this card of feeling content in what you have. And there's a certain sense of like gratitude or lack thereof with this card, depending upon the context, where of really feeling not just rich, but feeling fulfilled. And I feel that whatever lack of fulfillment we are experiencing is often due to the lack of connection to ourself or to source. Like we're continuously trying to like look for a place to plug in our plug. Like if you just think of even just like an electric appliance and needing to find like an outlet so you can plug it in so it can charge and be be brought to life. And I feel like that's really what this has all been about, like being unplugged from the old ways. And as I've been talking about it, I feel we've all been getting the intuitive knowings, and it's almost like, not even almost like, I feel like all these analogies, I hope it's making sense, even just like a parent, and it came to my mind like a mother especially, but a parent where, they'll let you know what they are expecting of you, or what they're, okay, well, this needs to get done. All right, I'm just letting you know this needs to get done. All right, I'm letting you know. And, you might get these warnings, and eventually it picks up. Or even maybe it doesn't happen so slowly. Maybe it's like, I told you to do this. But regardless, I hope this is making sense for the explanation where, we've been getting the knowings. We've been getting the insights. It's been coming to us, whether we've been seeing it or not. Which, again, that even can take us into the whole topic of how we, not even just the topic, I guess that's even felt here in the cards, of even the answers that we're looking for they're here. They're already here. We're having to release even our expectation of what it's supposed to look like, what the answer is even supposed to appear to us as, or even expecting something to come and like rescue us or something. Like this isn't that, this isn't that. This is us really having to let go of feeling we know everything, of admitting that we don't know everything, of admitting that there is something for us to learn, or for us to acknowledge. And from the deck cards, I feel this is something we need to acknowledge from ourselves. We need to acknowledge something from within. And again, these messages could also be coming through from the people we're connecting with, or just from other beings in some sort of way. Even any synchronicities that we experience when we're out and about, or just, just in our element, in our environments. But yeah, I just really feel, I hope that me stressing this is getting through, that this really is about us connecting to ourselves, and not just connecting to ourselves, but we're plugging into source. We're plugging into our own power source. We're not even going to be, but this is the collective beginning this stage of, not about being like, oh, it's all about me, but it's about of us acknowledging the truth and the wisdom that is already all within us by us being ourselves. And it's through us connecting with everyone else being themselves that we're able to really bring forward a more honest and more genuine, quote unquote, matrix, or, just reality through which we live, or a filter through which we experience things. So yeah, I think I'm just going to try and end it there. There's actually a few of these little quotes in my almanac for the day that I actually would like to read just to kind of conclude this. So today's quote is, "Today, information is often mistaken for knowledge. There is so much information that we do not know what to do with it. As a result, there is little understanding as to what genuine knowledge is." And I honestly even feel like that's even a beautiful way to just kind of conclude this. I will go ahead and end it here. So thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I hope that it brought some clarity, some insight, or, even if you just enjoy listening to me, I enjoy talking with you guys. So, feel free to comment, interact with me, either on YouTube as well as on Instagram. You can find links to those, or not to those, but to my Instagram in the description, as well as my website to book sessions or to find resources for further self-study. And yeah, otherwise, I hope you guys have a wonderful Wednesday. I really think that that's it. If there's anything else, I'll try and add it in between here. But I really think that's it. So yeah, I send you guys all the love and wish y'all many, many blessings. And until next time.